All right, welcome back. We're going to be joined by District 53 State Rep, and we're going to bring him up right as we speak. He is the Speaker Pro Temp, Tanner Magee. You've seen him on our program many times. Mr. Speaker, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good, Martin. Thanks for having me on. Be clear, I'm not driving. I'm pulled over on the side of the road to do the Zoom on my way back from Baton Rouge.
Amen.
Thanks for having me.
Amen. And I wanted to get you on because all day I've been in Ashland North. I've been on the phone with Aptum, with Mr. John Mitchell, who explained why the trailers are so slow. We flew drones over the Civic Center only to see a bunch of them still there. He explained why. I had the FEMA Relations Specialist on, Gerard Hammy. We have the FEMA Director coming in town tomorrow. I've talked to Miss Mary Adams, a resident of Ashland North. I've talked to the Falgoos. He's living in a tent. He has no trailer. It's frustrating to say the least, but I know you've been on that bandwagon to try to get more expedient trailers out. Where are we right now, Mr. Speaker?
Process is still moving way too slow. I wish I could have heard what Aptum told you as the reasons why they're not moving faster.
What he told me in a nutshell was that they have been trying to call people who are on the application list, and I asked him, how are you getting these names? He said through Sleeka, through Energy, through City of Houma, through Lafourche Parish, through the municipality, and they're trying to call people, and people aren't answering or calling them back, and it's slowing up the process. So I took that and I asked the FEMA man today who was on the desk, why can't they identify themselves as FEMA or trailers or whatever it is? It doesn't take much to do that instead of spam risk where people are going to hang up and not answer the phone.
But Martin, why can't they just go to the address? I mean, look, this is my frustration is we are giving Aptum $9 million to process these applications. I don't know what the big secret sauce is here that they're acting like it exists. I get phone calls from everybody. I keep telling them, look, let me have some sort of, let my office have some sort of influence into your list of what you're trying to work through, because we can help you find people. If they call us, we can try and troubleshoot their claim numbers, and they want no part of it. At the end of the day, all they have to do is if they have somebody's name and they can have an address, they can go out to that address and start working. It's frustrating that they are allowing it to be the fact that somebody's just not going to answer their phone, and that's the system they've set up.
Let me give you an example. We had Miss Mary Adams. We ran into her by chance in Ashland North. We were filming, interviewing some people. We were doing a drone overfly at the time, and Miss Mary Adams passed by walking her dog, and I had a nice chat with her, and she was telling me how she's been there 27 years. She does not want to move from Terrebonne Parish. Her trailer was totaled. Her husband had died in the trailer. He had a massive heart attack. She had a young grandchild that had heart problems. She said she had been to the school to apply to FEMA. I think she told me 5 times. I could be corrected on that. But she went to the Civic Center 3 more times, and all of her neighbors are getting trailers that have less damage than her, and she still does not have a trailer. So the consistency, to say the least, is it's terrible.
No, and look, that's the problem. It's who you talk to at FEMA or GoSep or with Aptum, if they're going to really help you or not. It's like my dad used to do. He used to call a credit card company. If he didn't like his consumer rep right away, he'd hang up and call back and hope he got another one. I mean, that's what you're having to go through is if you get somebody who's interested in helping, they're going to make it happen. And if you get stuck in this bureaucratic red tape, you're going to have to go through the ringer, and it's not fair. And that's why it should be a much more transparent process. Martin, we're living in 2021. We have the internet. You can have an app. There's 1,000 things you could do so that we could track all these people and find out what's the problem, what can we do to solve that problem. If they would let me use their tracking numbers or let anybody use their tracking numbers, we could figure out where this is going along and what is the snafu. Is it a sheet of paper? And let's get the sheet of paper done.
I just think in today's society, we're sending all this money from our country everywhere else to help people, but here in our own country, we have people several months out still living in a tent, and it's ludicrous at this point.
Absolutely. And I think, Martin, one of the things I think you're as frustrated as I am is when we talk to these FEMA people, they think they're doing a good job. I mean, they think that this is going according to the plan, and that's the part that frustrates me. The first thing they do is they start throwing out numbers about how much money they've already spent down here, how much they've already done, and what they're saying just does not match up to what you see on the ground level when you actually go out into the communities that have been impacted. And that's my frustration. I know you've had the FEMA guy on, and he tells you the numbers they spent, and then they give you some kind of like, yeah, nothing ever happens fast enough. But there's no accountability here, Martin, and it's really frustrating.
You know, and in fairness to Mr. Hammy, he came in 2 weeks ago. I know they're not giving him the tools he needs to really give the right answer. So a public information officer, to me, is the kind I deal with over here when we have to go to the police or we have to get vital information. They know what they're supposed to say. They've been briefed by the chief to give you the right information. Mr. Hammy, there ain't nobody from FEMA briefing him, and if they are, they're giving him very little information, because I agree with you. It's not designed to put a trailer in everybody who needs its yard. That's
correct. I mean, all they do is give them like a daily report of numbers and of, X amount of Y and Z, but it has no matching to the actual, did we solve the problem today? It's all PR and just to make it sound like they're doing a better job than what they're doing. And so that's why it's so important what you're doing right now and staying on them and showing the real story of what's going on in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish.
You seem, and I know you well, but I could read it in your face, the frustration, because I think I see it in the field when I'm interviewing people, and it baffles me that in today's world, we can put people on the moon when we want, we build rockets, we got ballistic missiles, we could hit a 10 by 10 square in Baghdad from a submarine, but we cannot get people out of tents in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. It blows my mind.
Blows my mind too. It's the one thing I just cannot figure out why we could be so backwards on, and I think it's an inherent fear that the bean counters and auditors are going to come back when this is all over with and say, you misspent 25 cents. And look, there's a time and a place for efficiency, and there's a time and a place for making sure money's well spent, but we need things to happen. And you can't let that be a paralysis to keep you from doing and delivering the services that need to be delivered yesterday.
Is there something you could do as a state leader that when this is all said and done, we know it's hard to go back and backtrack now, but for your kids later on and other people's kids to set stronger rules of transparency when it comes to these type of things?
Yes, there will be changes, Martin. I can guarantee. I've been talking to legislators across the state are frustrated because you also have the Lake Charles people who have had a poor recovery. Now you have the Southeast people who are having a poor recovery. There will be changes to the process. Nobody finds who's experienced it finds acceptable as far as why we are not more set up for this. This will never happen again. Well, I'm not saying it won't happen again, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure the next time it happens, we are much better prepared.
Yeah, and I appreciate you joining us, and I know you ducked in that car because you have meetings, but I appreciate your transparency. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be in touch soon, and we'll keep the fight going to try to get people out of tents here in our beloved area.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for your help. We appreciate it, Tanner. All right, once again, Tanner.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
District 53 Speaker Pro Temp, and he took some time out to go sit in his car and talk to us today, and we certainly appreciate his transparency on that. And we invite all of the state reps, the senators. We'd love to get you on, and we'll start making time this week to get you aboard. Maybe you could help us and pull a few strings, get them out the tents. We'll be right back.